What's up, everyone? It's DSP, and I actually have the infamous John Rambo here with me. I don't know, for those of you who have asked, what does John Rambo look like, but you've never seen one of the videos where he's actually been in.
The answer's beautiful, isn't it? Is it not?
This is a very special video. It's actually the first time I'm doing anything like this. A lot of people have been sending me comments over the past few weeks regarding E3, the show which is the national gaming show. Usually it happens once a year, and it covers all the major consoles, all the major game developers. It actually just completed this week, and a lot of people wanted to know, what are your feelings on E3? What games were you looking forward to? What do you think about the press conferences, things like that? So we're going to do a very special edition of The Hateful Truth with John, and we're going to have our impressions, our feelings on what we thought about E3 this year, 2010. So without further ado, here we go. It's The Hateful Truth E3 2010 edition. Woo! Alright, so to start off, I guess the first thing we'll do, John, is we'll talk about the different press conferences that happened during E3, because they usually do take up the meat of the whole the conference to begin with. And as everyone knows, there's the big three. There's Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo.
What about Atari? They don't have...
Well, the Jaguar was off in the corner somewhere, but I guess we'll start with Microsoft and kind of talk about a couple of the things that they focused on in their press conference. And the first thing, which is kind of a weird announcement, was that Project Natal, which has been in development for over a year now, they kind of announced it last year at E3. It has a new name. It's called the Kinect. And I guess apparently, poor grammar is cool.
So, yeah, is that spelled Kinect?
It's fucking spelled with a K, and it's just not even close to how you would spell that word. I don't know why they branded it like that. But pretty much it is Project Natal. Nothing's changed. Some of the games that they demoed there had, a little girl interacting with this fucking little tiger shit that was on the screen.
I just want to smack the... Can you smack the tiger?
I know. Can you punch the tiger, or can you fucking grab it by its tail and spin it up like your head?
Can you run across the room and just kick the tiger?
But it's just really odd, the games that they were demoing. They had some dance game where people were awkwardly dancing very badly on camera, and it was supposed to be really good considered, the performance in the game. I just don't really get what they're going with that.
I think this motion stuff is just a disease on the gaming industry. We need a cure quickly.
I just don't understand it. We have the Wii now. The Natal, at least in Natal's defense, it is a little bit of an innovation because there's no motion controller involved. It's just a camera.
Well, this is an innovation. I wonder if it'll actually hold the system, hold it back though. How do you play a game where you're going to move forward and shoot things at the same time? That's why if you have buttons and things, it kind of lends its hand to that. So I don't know how that will work. It'll actually there'll be basically no core games that'll be able to play with it because of that. Exactly.
It's funny you're saying that, because all the games that they demoed at E3 which all seem to be these kind of Wii-style casual play games that maybe you would sit down for a half an hour and mess around with, but you wouldn't put any significant time into it. I mean, they didn't show...
This game's fucking exhausting too. They didn't show one game where you could sit on your couch, like the Wii, you could sit on the couch and play. These games are you're jumping and shit. Give me about 5 minutes, I'm gonna pass out. You do an oxygen tank or something.
Right. It's fucking. I mean, Dance Dance Revolution. How long can you play that game before you need a break?
Right. These look very very tiring. They did actually just totally rip off the Wii. I mean.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is.
Connect Sports. They have
It's all the same things for the Wii. They're gonna come out for just Connect, but
right.
So the next thing that Microsoft talked about in this press conference was their new console, which they hadn't talked about before. So it was the big surprise of E3 is that there's a new Xbox 360, but all it really is a little bit slimmer model. I think it's 17% smaller or something like that.
Shorter.
Built-in Wi-Fi, which the fucking console should have had to begin with, in my opinion. If you're going to buy the Elite.
They look at you in the line his pockets with the money made off of that shit.
Well, and then, going along with that, it has a new hard drive, an internal 250 gig hard drive.
It's basically the same system, but the hard drive is not a top.
Right, but the hard drive's different from the current hard drive, so now you got to probably buy a special transfer cable to transfer your shit over. You can't use that hard drive on your old console. But for me, my whole point is, if you already have an Xbox 360, no one's going to run out to try to buy this new model. There's no new features. It's all the same shit, only in one complex package.
This goes back to the Kinect as well, because they're trying to get the casual people in there. Now, if you're a casual gamer, you don't have a system. I want this Kinect thing. This looks pretty cool. I wanted that.
Right.
You go to the store, $300 for the system, $150 for the Kinect. That's a fucking rape.
So, $450 to get this set up to play a casual game for 30 minutes a day.
Yeah, the Wii's look more attractive at a lower price, and you get the Mario and all that shit. So
Right. So I mean,
it might be a tough sell for them. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that.
Wii's definitely got the better price point in the motion category.
I guess the new system you could. Kinect's gonna have a separate cord if you have the old system.
Right.
So if you have the new system, you can just plug it in. But it's not really a big.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to really spend $300 for a new system or $15 for a fucking surge protector so you don't have to plug an extra cord into your wall? I mean, it's pretty dumb.
Right, and also we talked about the hard drive swapping. We like to bring this on the hard drive. Bring your hard drive. My hard drive here. You have an extra system.
Right.
So
now you can't do it. Now you gotta have transfer cables and shit and have multiple consoles to try to play at anyone's house. It's
exactly.
ridiculous. A new feature that they were trying to really promote for Xbox Live was this new ESPN deal. I guess they made an exclusivity agreement with ESPN to stream sports over Xbox Live. Now, gee, there might be a little kind of a weird thing here because I could have sworn that if you like sports, you might actually have this thing that's called a cable box. Where you could actually watch it on your fucking TV.
If you like sports, you should buy a game system.
Where does that make sense? I mean, it's hard enough to sell like Madden to a sports fan. Now you're trying to sell the system because you can watch sports games that they probably already are watching on TV anyway.
Basically, the focus of the entire thing was not games.
Right.
What we're saying here, we want your mom, we want your grandma to play.
Right.
We want your little sister to play. We want your dad to watch the fucking sports game.
The major games that they focused on at this Microsoft conference were games that were already announced. Gears of War 3 and fucking Halo Reach. There was nothing new. There was no groundbreaking announcement of something that would make you want to say, man, I gotta buy 360 tomorrow.
Yeah.
So really, yeah, that was.
Well, it was the 5th Halo game, the 3rd Gears of War game. That's pretty much what they're hanging their hat on.
Right.
It's kind of a sad situation.
And it's funny because a lot of people at the time were saying, gee, what a pathetic press conference it was, but it almost is if Microsoft knew the press conference was so shitty because actually anyone who got their foot in the door was given one of these free new Xbox 360 consoles. Right. They just got it right on the spot.
Why were we invited to E3, Phil? I like the new console. You can't pull that plug?
I wasn't exactly thinking about it.
Next year, somebody set that up.
Yeah, someone send us tickets to E3.
Set that shit up.
Alright, so the next major company on the agenda is Sony. And with their PS3, there's a lot of new games coming out, but what did they focus on during their press conference? Motion controls, of course. I mean, that just seems to be the running theme this year is the motion control.
It looks more childish and stupid than the Wiimote. It lights up.
Yeah, it's a fucking weird. It looks just like the Wiimote with a colored ball.
It looks like a sex toy.
It's just fucking.
I want to see one more thing about the Kinect. You see the game with the dancing and they show the bodies.
Yeah.
All kinds of sex videos are gonna come from this Kinect.
Well, what they'll do is they'll have the Kinect footage with someone holding this new Sony Move controller.
Oh, it's gonna be combination.
Yeah, so it'll be like.
But I watched this and they show you see like a silhouette of a person. You see people effing and there's gonna be videos. It's sick.
But this whole Sony Move.
Sorry, back to show.
Sony Move, it's the same thing as a Wii motion controller. There's no difference. The games that they demoed were almost, again, exactly the same as the regular games that they're going to have this in on the 360, the games that are already on the Wii. The one game that they demoed, which is hilarious, was the Tiger Woods Golf. The guy tries to fucking swing, and when he swings, his character in the game goes like this, and fucking just freezes up like this as a live demo. So it's so silly. These motion controls, again, it seems to be the major focus. Are they really trying to, aim at the core gamer, the people who have been with them all these years, who bought the console when it was at launch and have been buying games over and over?
And they have games like SOCOM, I guess we'll use it, but who's the people who's asking for these games?
Yeah, who want it?
I don't want to play with a regular controller. I want this glowing shit.
It doesn't seem to make sense. The core gamer is pretty fine with the gamepad. I don't know anyone who's screaming and says, I want to play Call of Duty with fucking giant accessories that I can wave through the air like an asshole. So,
right.
Really, the only major meat that was in the Sony press conference was some of the new games that they announced, and the one major release that was announced for the first time at E3 was the new Twisted Metal. Which is pretty cool because it's been, something like 10 years since the last Twisted Metal game came out. A lot of people have been asking for this, and Twisted Metal had always been a Sony exclusive, so a big, a third-party title announcement like that's exclusive to PS3, it was a real surprise, and I think a lot of people were happy.
Yeah, I like how they had a guy from Sweet Tooth come out. That's actually the game I'm most excited about from E3.
Yeah.
I don't know, I mean, Sony's in 3rd place, let's be honest here. I don't know if that's the game that's going to bring them back. I mean, going up against the Halo and the Gear, I actually like Twisted Metal better in my opinion.
Right, sure.
I don't know if that's the game that's going to bring them back.
Well, the other thing is the only other games that they really talked about were these games that were all sequels. Like you said, Killzone 3. Well, Killzone 2 really didn't do that well. So now you're going to try to push the sequel to that.
Why don't we try a new franchise? They did great with Uncharted. They did great with some of the others. So why don't we try something? They gotta really try something here to come back. They're not.
Right. The other major.
I don't know if those are the games they're going to do it for them. Well, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not very smart.
Yeah.
That's true, right?
The only major topic of discussion left that Sony talked about was that they have this new premium PSN service, and this had actually been coming for quite a while. There were lots of rumblings and rumors that the PSN service was going to become a pay service, just like Xbox Live, and now that Sony kind of finally confirmed and said, well, no, the PSN's still going to be free, but there's going to be this new premium service that if you pay for it,
you're
going to get all the extra features.
You know?
Well, exactly right. They didn't explain it. Basically, here's what they said. They said, it's not cross-game chat, it's not this, it's not that, but they didn't explain exactly what you're going to get.
You talked about the Wipeout demo or the game Wipeout HD or something?
I think they're
that if you get it?
I think they were saying they're saying like you get demos ahead of time or something.
Yeah, I don't really understand what it is.
But
if it's a fix to the PlayStation Network, I don't think, in my opinion, the PlayStation Network doesn't work that well. I wouldn't mind paying $50, but I don't understand the people that, oh, it's free. That's why that's why it's better. But
right. It doesn't seem to make
games are $60, which with $50 for a good network that works correctly.
Right. I mean, Xbox 360 sure it has its problems with Xbox Live, but if you want to find your friend online, you want to see what he's playing, you want to add him to a buddy list, you want to set up a party. I mean, all that's right there at your fingertips. That's what people have been asking for, and maybe this pay service that's what it's going to be. But again,
that's what it is. I'd gladly get it. It's going to work. It's going to make it work better.
Right.
I mean, it's a good idea. I don't really know what it is. They didn't really explain it.
It just didn't seem to be very clear. So
maybe someday we'll figure that out.
Yeah. So the last major press conference out of the big three is Nintendo. Nintendo is still pretty much the leader in the market, which is kind of ridiculous because when you take a look at the titles that they've been offering the core gamer in the past, say, 3 to 4 years with the Wii, haven't exactly been AAA titles.
It's a lot of crap.
Their major focus seemed to be, this press conference, was the 3DS, which is yet another model of the fucking Nintendo DS. I mean, how many Nintendo DSs can you possibly own by now? There must be like 5 models now, and now here's a new one. The major push for this console DS is because it's in 3D, but the thing is, you can't record 3D footage. So there was no footage anywhere of really the games or the performance of what they look like.
I don't know. People say it's good. Maybe it's fantastic.
But how would you fucking know unless you were there?
Would you really trust them to buy the first one? How many is there going to be?
Well, that's the thing.
And how many times is it going to get better? That's
the thing, because you're right. A good point is the original DS. I remember I had the original Nintendo DS, and I couldn't see the fucking screens.
Yeah.
They weren't backlit.
Like there was 3 DSs or 4?
I think there's been 4 at this point.
Yeah, 4 DSs.
And it's like, each one's better. Do you really want the first one to have the 3D technology, or is this going to be the one with the sucky battery, with the screens you can't see, the one that gives you fucking headaches like the Virtual Boy? Like, who knows what this is going to be like. So,
are they really going to try their best to make it the best one they can? Or are they going to go, well, we have this other one in development?
It's hard to back a company like that seems that every year they have to put out a new version of their console.
They were making Street Fighter 4 for it. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh my god.
And they announced Kid Icarus, which looks nothing like Kid Icarus. It's it looks like every other third-person game. So
I can't even believe they made Street Fighter 4 for the iPhone. So
that's probably gonna be the same thing.
It was kind of funny because the major game announcement for Nintendo was the new Zelda, which is called Skyward Sword. And they had this really epic trailer for it. They showed, Majora's Mask, and they showed, I think, the Ocarina, and then they showed the wolf from Twilight Princess, and then they showed Link, and then they go to the game footage, and it's fucking pretty much identical to the past 3 Zelda games. Like, it shows him shooting his arrow and attacking, and it's over. And it's like, what did you just show me? Did you actually show me a new game, or is that a rehash from the last game?
Basically, well, first of all, I like to say, I'm glad it doesn't have a train or like a boat or something.
Oh, you don't like those gimmicks?
I don't think it's like a gimmick, it's just a straight up game. But I guess the gimmick in this one is the Wii motion. You have a shield and you have the sword.
Right. But it was funny because when they were demoing it, they actually had Miyamoto out there on stage trying to do it, and he couldn't fucking do it. Like, you gotta see the clip. It's hilarious. He's trying to shoot the arrow, and the other guy's trying to tell him. Now think of this is pretty much the father of Nintendo. Some guy's trying to tell him how to use the Wiimote. He's like, no, just aim it straight. He's like, okay. And he fires, and the fucking arrow goes, woo, right into the ground. So he says, no, aim up. So he goes up, and he shoots it up into the fucking sky. And then when he's actually trying to use the sword, he's trying to attack enemies, and Link's like going like this instead of actually doing what it's supposed to do.
It was all fucked up. They blamed it on like interference or something like that.
But again, this is just another reason why the core gamer doesn't care about motion control.
I can't play that game. You know, I like Zelda. I played most of the Zeldas. I can't sit there and go like this, like that.
How many hours can you fucking flail your arms around in the sky?
It's not appealing to me.
It's just, And
instead of making a game with that gimmick, why don't we make a Zelda with like graphics and voice acting and some modern effect? Instead of making Ocarina 4 times.
Why can't we just make it professional at this point? There's been other games like Heavy Rain that it becomes a very adult content, a very serious voice acting, you know, that kind of a really good plot. Those are the kind of games that the core gamers want, not these kiddie games that they keep shoveling.
What's the next level of Zelda? You go from the original to A Link to the Past is a big jump, and then you go from that to Ocarina is a big jump.
Right.
And we've been kind of stuck in 1998 since that came out. So.
There's a lack of innovation in games, and speaking to that point, some of the other major titles that they announced, I mean, a new Donkey Kong Country that's in 3D, and the return of GoldenEye. So wait a minute. Okay, your 2 newest games are old games that you're just rehashing to bring back to your console, and it's like, how many times can you do the same thing?
First of all, those games are made by Rare, which is not part of Nintendo anymore. I think these games are GoldenEye's made by Activision now.
Right.
I don't know who the fuck's making Donkey Kong.
I don't know. Maybe they just bought it out or something.
I'm glad I was a kid when I was a kid, because Donkey Kong Country came out. It was an amazing game. It was a revolution. It was a graphical
Absolutely.
This is just
it's more of the same. It's like back then, that's what sold the game. But what's going to sell the game now? Now it's just a 2D platformer.
They're just trying to pass it on. Where's the new revolutions in gaming? Where's the next step?
Some of the weird things that happen, like they introduced this game called Kirby Epic Yarn, which is basically just Kirby, only he's made of yarn. He uses yarn to do stuff. It's like, okay.
It's kind of bizarre.
My 5-year-old might like that game, but is anyone really going to buy it other than for their kid for Christmas? Probably not.
Very strange.
They did show Epic Mickey, which a lot of people have been wondering what that game was going to look like.
Right.
Which is a good thing, because when you have a lot of people questioning it, and they did show some, it kind of looks like a standard platformer, but there are a couple elements like with paint and paint thinner, where you can like totally take down a wall and then build another wall back up or something like that. So hopefully that would be, you know, something cool. But I think the thing that left the biggest impact in my mind from this whole press conference is if you go over to GameTrailers.com and you actually watch their latest episode of, I think it's G4 TV from E3, they have one of the guys interviewing Reggie, who's, you know, the head of the Nintendo of America, CEO, Big Shot, and they basically are interviewing him on what do you think of the press conference, and one of the major questions they asked were, have you seen this ad that's been all over TV for Blur? Now, Blur is this racing game made by Activision, and the ad for it pokes fun at Mario Kart. It actually shows, like, the beginning looks like a Mario Kart kind of a deal with these cartoon characters about to race, and one of them drives over to the side and says, wait, what's that, through the chain link fence? And he sees the game Blur, and he's like, wow, I'm amazed, why can't I be over there? And then one of his co-racers comes up and says, hey, racing's not about winning, it's about making friends.
So basically making fun of Mario Kart in a way.
It's making fun of Mario Kart, and Reggie, when he was being interviewed about this, said, oh, well, this is a horrible thing that Activision's doing, because he's making fun of all the children, and my children who play Mario Kart. And it's like, Reggie, don't you realize that in that one sentence, you pretty much just admitted your entire console is just for kids, and you're not really trying to appeal to the core gamer?
It pretty much is. I mean, at this point, it's what it is.
You know? And it's sad, because back in the, you know, when the early days of Nintendo, when you had the Nintendo and the Super NES, both kids and adults enjoyed those games. Yeah. Now it's kind of like they've dumbed down the games to the point where only kids are going to
they were appealing to kids, but they also had a difficulty level and a certain, almost like an edge to them that was, you know, you don't really find anymore.
You don't feel like any game you play on the Wii is classic anymore. That's kind of a downer.
And the sad truth of all this, like I played the new Mario Brothers game, like I own a Wii and I played a lot of these games. They're not as good as the original material. It just doesn't hold up.
Right.
It just isn't what it was.
Right.
And it's sad, you know.
So I guess what we want to do is just talk about some of our favorite games that we saw from the E3 coverage. For me, number one on my list is definitely the new Twisted Metal, I have to say, because first of all, this game wasn't even announced until E3. No one even knew that it was going to be talked about, and just to see that franchise come back, the attitude it's always had, the gore, the rock music, right off the bat they were playing this crazy fucking metal music, and it seems like right off the bat they've added so many new features, helicopters, capture the flag.
Yeah, it seems like it's more of a campaign, I guess, not just like the combat, there's more of a storyline going on. There's like gangs, there's like a Sweet Tooth gang, there's like a game based on the different characters. So I'll agree with you. I think it's probably the game I'm most excited about.
Another game that I was interested in was Infamous 2. I mean, a lot of people saw my Infamous 1 playthrough on YouTube, and a little bit of a weird thing going on there where they fired the first voice actor, they decided not to go with them, and they redesigned the character. but at the same time they have everyone else is like returning, so it's a little weird, but pretty much
It's not the same character as the first game?
It's the same guy.
The voice actor's gone.
The voice actor's gone, and they redesigned the character to look different.
Well, what the fuck was he doing? Like, was he doing like a bunch of coke or something? He was like nuts?
Maybe they thought that he looked too much like Justin Timberlake or something, and they didn't want to get sued. But whatever reason, there's a redesign there. But the game still looks great. Graphics look good. Looks like they're making improvements on the first game. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was a big one because up to this point all we just had was like an announcement of 6 characters. We saw blips of gameplay here and there, but we never saw like a full match fought out. To me at least, being that I used to be one of the people who was really into Marvel and Marvel 2, is that it looks like it's kind of a throwback to Marvel vs. Capcom 1. A lot of the things that they've changed, like you can't constantly have helpers coming out when you're blocking anymore and things like that.
It's a little like toned down, but at the same time it's kind of refined, I guess. I don't know.
I'm not too hot on the graphics though. I really don't like that cell shaded style that they used for Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, and I'm kind of worried that this game's going to be too similar.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing that. They're going that route where it's like it's a comic book to look like a comic book.
Right.
I don't really always agree with that.
It doesn't have to always look like.
Not everything has to look like a comic book. I mean, there are little touches like they talk, a lot of voices. Like,
yes.
I think Hulk says something about Iron Man, like "Go," this is like "Metal Man Go" or something. Like he's his teammate.
Right.
So it has little touches like that. I don't know. I mean, I think Capcom really captured something in the '90s, and they're trying to
bring it back.
Bring that back. Can they do it?
It's kind of hard when you've had a 10-year lack between your last really good Versus game, and now you're trying to revive the series.
It'll sell. It's Marvel.
Yeah. I mean, Marvel 2 was one of the best-selling Xbox
From a gameplay standpoint,
games.
will it be great or who knows?
Who knows?
We'll have to figure it out. You know?
Assassin's Creed Bloodlines is another major one because a lot of people thought that Assassin's Creed 3 was going to be the next game in the Assassin's Creed series, but it was announced, no, surprise, we're going to have this whole new Splinter series that's going to talk about Ezio and his side story and only follow him, and it's going to have multiplayer gameplay, which is a first for the Assassin's Creed series.
Yeah.
I think this was the first time we actually got to see gameplay, and I actually saw some of the gameplay. Pretty cool. It's kind of like a cross between Splinter Cell, but also the free flowing and roaming of Assassin's Creed, where you're trying to sneak around, sneak behind your target, assassinate him, and then get away before him assassinates you.
Yeah, I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan. I think it'll be good. As long as we get the next chapter, maybe next year.
Yeah.
Not just, it's kind of like a spin-off.
Right.
But it looks good.
I guess that's a good point. We don't want to have them like delay Assassin's Creed for 5 years.
We don't want all these spin-offs.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to advance the storyline any. So.
Right. They announced 2 Castlevania games. The first one is a 3D version, which is kind of, I don't know, because remember the last 3D Castlevania was on the Nintendo 64 and it was fucking god-awful. And then there's a new one that's a 2D game, which supposedly there's supposed to be 2-player co-op, possibly even split-screen co-op. And that one seems to be going more along the lines of the Nintendo DS games, like I think it was Aria of Sorrow.
Yeah, like since it's that 2D style, I guess it's got co-op as well now.
Right. So that might be interesting.
There's another one you forgot, Metal Gear Rising.
Metal Gear Rising.
That's the one with Raiden.
Is that the one where he uses the fucking Sony motion to chop cars and shit?
I don't know. It doesn't have the Sony.
I think that's what they were talking about. Like, you use that to
Well, it's for the Xbox also.
Oh, well,
but it looks pretty cool because it's the tagline of the game is what will you cut, and they show up just cutting everything. So
excellent.
I guess the answer to that question is everything. Everything will be cut. I guess.
Sounds great.
So that's another one that might be good.
Now, didn't you mention there was a game that you were?
Yeah, I'll try to be positive for the Wii. The Metroid Other M game. It's made by Team Ninja.
Right.
So, Ninja Gaiden guys. So
right.
I like that. Maybe it'll be good.
It's like a reboot. It's different from the Metroid Prime series.
It's like more classic with more action. So maybe I don't really like the Prime series that much, but maybe this one will be good. So we'll throw that in there.
Alright, so in conclusion, I guess I really just want to give my overall feeling, or our overall feelings about the E3 this year, 2010. For me, I was disappointed, and the reason I was disappointed is in past years, usually it's a focus on the core audience, where they announce their newer games coming out, where they're going with these different series. This year, it seemed to be more about motion controls for everyone, or gimmicks for everyone. You know, you've got Kinect for the 360, and their new Xbox that no one needs to buy if you already own one. You've got the Sony Move, which again, is just another gimmick like a Wiimote, and the Nintendo 3DS, which you couldn't even see, and it's just another DS that you don't really know if you want to have to buy the same console for the 5th time. So I would really like to see a new focus next year back on the core gamer. It's kind of unfortunate. It seems more like these companies are focusing on just making a quick buck, hoping to try to catch up to where Nintendo's been for the past 3 years, than actually doing anything interesting or innovative.
It's pretty much like a big money grab at this point. I think they hire these marketing people and they go, oh, this sells, let's make everything like this. Or,
right.
this does well. We should make everything like that. It's not really. Don't fuck with the core gamers. You know, that's your bread and butter, and
Right.
you lose some of those people. You hurt some of those people. You know, they're not coming back. So.
Right. The one thing that I think saved this E3, or at least made it interesting, were some of the games that were announced, like Marvel 3, Twisted Metal. At least there were some things to kind of keep the core gamer appeased, but for the most part, it was kind of laughable. You know, who wanted to sit through that 2-hour Sony press conference and watch them just reiterate the same shit over and over and never actually show you anything new? It was kind of stupid. So
somebody's gotta have some balls, some cojones. You know, at some point, someone debuted Castlevania, the first one, for the first time. Or all these other classic games. Somebody's got to do that, come out and do that again.
Well, I mean, didn't they do that with Little Big Planet, John? Wasn't that just a major...
Well, now they're doing the second one already, so they announced that as well, you forgot.
Fucking awful. So, at least for me, overall, my overall impression of E3, for a Hateful Truth review, on a scale of 1 to 10, I've got to be honest, you know my ratings are brutally honest, I got to give it a 4. Because there just was nothing there. There were only very few new games that were announced. The games that they kind of were the best games of the conference weren't delved into too much. There was too much of a focus on this peripheral audience of people who are just going to casually play games with these motion controls rather than really anything new that was enough meat for the core gamer. So I was disappointed.
Yes, what your Hateful Truth, I'll be the lovable lie. Even though it's true, I'm going to say it's a 2.
Oh, yes! A 2!
Just a total, you just give it up on lack of focus on the core games. Core games. And
it's disappointing.
It's sad.
It's disappointing.
I'll cry later. Yeah.
So, alright, so that's it for our E3 2010 wrap-up. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked, you know, hopefully you at least got a gist if you weren't following the coverage of what happened and you know what's going on. Obviously, the games that I mentioned that I'm interested in, I'm probably going to end up playing, just so everyone asks you, you're going to do this review or this review? Yeah, most likely some of the games that I mentioned here I am going to be playing. So, that's it. I'm DSP. John Rambo, thank you for joining me here on the first co-op Hateful Truth, and we'll see you later.
My trip to my house.
All right.